Everyone wants growth, but not everyone is ready for it. In this video, we're going to go over how to prepare for church growth in 6 simple steps. Now, before you press the accelerator on your church's growth, ask yourself, are you really prepared for what's to come, or are you setting yourself up for failure? Let's dive into what real growth readiness looks like. Because when you start the digital outreach system, your growth can happen fast. But if you're not prepared for all the visitors flooding into your services, then you'll lose them. I do want to warn you to stop right here, because make sure you watch the Avoid Your Pitfalls video right up here before you watch the rest of this video. That's dealing with digital outreach. This is dealing with much of the physical in-person services. You need to get your digital house in order before dealing with the physical areas of your church. Also, you can get prepared in your church physically, but if you don't have everything ready digitally, then everything else is going to fail. So please make sure you watch that video on how to avoid these pitfalls with the digital outreach system. Now, already, if your digital house is in order, your website, your digital pathways, your brand, you're all on point, you're ready to move forward, then let's get into growth preparedness for your church. Let's cover how to prepare for church growth in 6 easy steps. Now, number 1, infrastructure and space. Do you have the room for growth and more people? Let's go over the areas that you need to get ready for growth with your infrastructure and your space. Number 1, adequate seating in your services. Ensure there's extra seating available for the ability to add services to accommodate growth. Number 2, parking capacity. Evaluate, is there enough sufficient parking for increased number of vehicles? Take a look. Number 3, children's ministry space. Do you have enough room for kids in nursery? This can oftentimes be a challenge when we start driving in a lot of traffic and visitors into the church. Make sure you're prepared in the kids ministry. Number 4, welcoming environment. Do you have enough greeters and those to welcome and make all of your guests feel welcome? And number 5, clear signage. Is it easy to get in from the street? And can people easily see where your services are, the entrances, the exits, restrooms, children areas? Make sure all of that's on point and you're ready for growth. Number 2, volunteers and staff. Do you have enough people to serve for those that you're ready to reach? Also, if this is an issue, I'm going to give you a little bit of a few creative ways what you can do here in just a moment. But let's go over the areas we need to get ready for growth with our volunteers and staff. Number 1, do you have enough sufficient volunteers? Ensure there's enough volunteers for nursery, kids ministry, greeting, parking, assistance, all these different areas and crucial roles. Make sure you have enough volunteers. Number 2, training programs. Implement training programs for volunteers to ensure a consistent, welcoming experience for your visitors. Number 3, staff readiness. Make sure your staff's ready, levels of support for your staff, and also if you need additional staff, you need to hire others. All right, told you I would tell you a few things. I hate for you to be having any kind of issue that volunteers or staff not having enough would hurt your growth. So let me go over a few ways and how you can help and what you can do about fixing this problem, because you do not want to allow that to stop your church growth. Number 1, hire. A lot of the churches that we work with, those that we partner with, one of the things that we recommend that we have for some, and then some of them are already doing it, is hiring kids for nursery, hiring nursery workers, hiring people in the kids ministry when needing, especially in the nursery, some of these areas, being able to hire people to help out. So take a look at those options, and especially some of these areas. If you really need help, you can hire. Number 1. Number 2 is inspire. Of course, this is what we all want to get to. Next is, inspire your congregation to put a focus on volunteering. And one pro tip is, I was in a rural church for some time, and I noticed the church would push for volunteers, but people stopped volunteering because in that church, in a smaller church in a rural area, it was like a lifetime commitment. So everybody's like, I don't want to volunteer. So when you inspire, also to let people know that it could be a 6-month or a 1-year commitment, give people an opportunity to exit so it's not like this is a lifetime role. That's something that will help when you inspire more people to respond. Because I'm more open if I know there's an end in sight, because even I was leery when I saw, oh, wow, okay, this is like a lifetime, when you answer the call at your church. At least give people the opportunity. And that way, if they do stay for years, hey, that's awesome. That's wonderful. But give them the opportunity. You can do some creative things like volunteer matching. You could create, a matching board online, digital platform for churchgoers. Like they could post their interests and their skills and areas they want. And some of the leaders of the department could look at that, creating matches and interests, and do some fun and engaging meetings or things at the church to really celebrate skills and talents and kind of find out some matching to bring people in as far as in volunteer. So inspire. So one of the things you can do in this area to solve the volunteer issue. Now, if you're getting some value out of this video, will you please hit that subscribe button and drop a ready to grow in the comments, because YouTube loves it when you do. Thank you so much. Now, the third area that you must be prepared for growth is your growth in systems, your processes. So let's go over the areas that you need ready for growth with your systems and processes. Number one, check in for the kids. And this is a big one. You need a secure, efficient check-in system for children's ministries to increase, of course, your attendees and families. Right now, my home church, they've got a serious issue with this in their 11 a.m. service. My wife and I won't even go to 11 a.m. anymore because the lines are so long to go to the kids' check-in. It's horrible. Long lines. You come out. My wife and I now, we only go to the 9 o'clock. We walk out of the 9 o'clock. We're like high-fiving each other. Like, yes, boom. Man, this is the right call, because we're passing a line of all these people that are standing, waiting to get into the kids. So we're not checking our kids in at 11 o'clock. It's a nightmare. We've done it at times. We get in late into the service. The lines are so long. They have to solve that problem in their 11 a.m. if they want to grow in the area of families. Right now, they've got a bottleneck. They have an issue. So make sure you solve these issues for growth. Number two, visitor follow-up. Really looking at your follow-up for your visitors, refine a system for the following up, emails, calls, visits. Make sure that you got team members to help out in these areas. Next, number three is just information management. Make sure all your systems are ready, whether that's a church management system that you have or a CRM such as HubSpot, Salesforce. Make sure you've got all that on point so that you're ready to follow up and your information systems are ready. Now, giving and donations, most of the systems can handle like an increase. They can handle whether you have one gift or you have 1,000 gifts at once. They pretty much can handle it. What you do need to examine, though, is it easy for newcomers to give? Is your system complicated? I've visited churches or been at churches in ministries. It's like super hard to give. It's like frustrating. And they want to take you here and get on an app and do this, or, fill out. They don't have any offering envelopes, or, make sure, is everything clear? Whatever options you're going with. And do you have multiple options? Make sure you have that. Sometimes people want to give digitally. Sometimes they want to give and write that check, however they want to give. Make sure that you have all that taken care of and it's solved for your visitors moving forward. Now, number four, in the area of communication and outreach. Let's talk about this for a moment, because this is a big one right here as we go over these areas in the area of growth that you're ready for communication outreach. That's basically everything you're doing with the digital outreach system itself. But there's a few key areas. Once we keep coming back to digital presence, make sure that you update your website, your social media platforms. They're user-friendly, they're ready. Cannot say this enough. Everything you do digitally online, you must get the digital foundation in order first. Your digital presence has to be on point. Make sure your website's on point. Make sure that your brand is on point, because that's going to set off everything of your visitor flow. Can't say that enough. If you've heard me in other videos, heard me here, you've got to get your digital presence in order to be prepared for your visitor flow and all of your growth. That's a big one. Next is digital team. Ensure you have a team that's trained to handle your engagements online by implementing the digital outreach system. In our case, you're going to need for the digital outreach system at least one key point person, to be able to manage, train, and run that. But you need to have team members in place for all of everything you're doing online. You need to train up team members. They're involved in responding to comments and messages and doing ministry for you online, because you're running an AI digital outreach system. All this is coming in. It's going to do the work to send to all the humans, your team, to be able to touch and be able to reach out and then take those handoffs, minister to people. That's what it's all about. You want to make sure you've got team members to handle that inflow for all of the growth. That's vital. So your digital team. And lastly, in that area of outreach marketing, you either need to hire an agency or utilize software such as Creativo AI to manage your digital outreach system and welcome guests and visitors. As I mentioned, you just need one point person for the AI digital outreach system, but for all of your ministry online, you need a full digital team. So make sure those pieces are in order. You got your digital team trained, and you want to make sure that you have guidelines for all of your digital team. We've helped churches in that area, our partners, will help them where they have guidelines, making sure that it's all dialed in so that the volunteers know what they can say, what they can't say, what they should do, and that way they stay representing the brand on point and make sure they know when they need to hand off to a pastor or when they need to hand off to someone else. So make sure you do that with your digital team. And then also you have one point person for your outreach. Now, the fifth area you need to be prepared for growth is for spiritual and discipleship pathways. Having your digital pathways ready, I'd recommend watching our video on the 5-step digital growth framework. Make sure you watch that video where we talk about digital pathways and really to have those on point and ready for growth. Now, spiritual and discipleship pathways, this is your next steps system. A lot of times it's referred to, other churches say your next steps. So it'll be your next steps. Make sure you have number one, newcomer integration. You have clear processes for integrating newcomers to the church, also to including small groups, baptisms, memberships, classes. And number two, discipleship pathways. Ensure that you have established pathways for spiritual growth and discipleship. Various paths, that you can push them into discipleship. So once again, they come to Christ or they're recommitting to Christ, or maybe they've shown up now, they're coming from another church, but they want to go deeper in discipleship, that you've got pathways and all of those are set for next steps, for your next steps with the Lord where they can go deeper. Number 5 here, or actually number 6 is financial stability. Being prepared in the area of financial stability. Let's go over the areas we need to be ready for growth with your finances at the church. Number 1, budget for growth. Ensure there is a budget to support growth, including potential expenses for additional resources, staff, space needs. Number 2, sustainability plan. Develop a financial sustainability plan that accounts for the potential increase in operational costs associated with your growth. And I don't want anyone here that's watching to be stopped because of finances. If this is something in your growth readiness, one thing we'd recommend is a lot of our partner churches, we've seen multiple of them, go to a wealthy member of the church who has supported their digital outreach. Share the vision, ask. This has been very successful and helped the churches, some small, mid-sized churches, to be able to fund their digital outreach program entirely separate from the general budget annually. So this is something that normally continues on and grows each year. Would recommend. Also too, we have an ROI formula in my book, Grow Your Church with New Technology, in chapter 11 to help with the decision in launching an AI digital outreach system. Now, if you're ready to grow and you just need some additional help, our team is willing to help you if you need setting up your AI digital outreach system, or if you want it done for you and for our team just to run it all for you, feel free to reach out to PMF Creative in the description. Otherwise, friends, remember, trust in the Lord and do more good.